So good morning, my friends. It is 9:50 on Friday. And I am going to have a few topics to talk about today. And right now, when I can finally get rid of all this, the the Dow Jones is down. It says only 6. It was down about 400. It's only 0.6, and you can see it here on my other iPad. But it's still going to be volatile and all that and everything else. And I wanted to do a video today. And I've done a few over the last couple of days because I've been lucky enough to be here by myself. Now, last night, how do I put it this way? Pastor Paul did a video. And it's getting to the point now where these videos are very predictable. And it gets to the point where, like, I don't dislike the channel, but there's a lot about it that it's begun to lose me, because most of it is all about money. So last night, he did a video, and he had Mike on there. And Mike's usually pretty key, and he's on a lot of things. But the dumb thing about it was, they finally kind of brought up what the Patreon 2-minute video was about. And I thought, wow, man, I almost wasted my time on that. I'm sure glad I didn't, because it was something I already knew. So, okay, we'll get away from that. There's a lot of channels I used to be big on that I don't watch anymore. I won't name her, but there's a lady on here that does a channel. It used to be very good, but they're very pro one side. And like I said, if the guy shat in your room, they would love it. There's a little meme going around about how if you were to crash a stock market and, wait for it to get all low and then buy, well, you could make a lot of money that way. Buy the stock when it's low, and then, and then you own it. And then when it begins to climb, you're owning all of it, see? People don't look at any of that. They don't. They don't believe any of it. They think these guys are trying to help you. But in reality, it's because people are fooled by what somebody might say. And I used to say this kind of as a joke, but in a way. So, just because a person says that they're this big major Christian doesn't mean they are, okay? I kind of expected the stocks to rally a little bit today because it's Friday. That way the weekend ends on a real good note. Oh, see? But it hasn't gained enough. It would have to gain 2,500 to 3,000 points today to be back where it was before it fell, okay? So, that's not going to happen. There's not going to be no 3,000 point gain. Anyway, just because a person says they're Christian doesn't mean they are one. Are there actions of one? No. I've also learned this, and I told you this way back. There's not one person that's over here or over here that can discuss something without it be a bickering contest, okay? And so I learned you cannot say anything, okay? You just got to let it happen and whatever it is. So now we're going to get into the meat of the video. Now, I have a very short attention span, so for me to hang out on a channel all day is very hard. But I have to say that, yes, Greg's channel is the only channel I really go to anymore. I might catch one for a little bit, but I don't stay there. I will say this, for any of you guys that do follow Greg, there's somebody out here, well, there's more than a couple. And unless you're looking down and see his name, New York Prepper, well, it'll have the emergency logo right there on the front like his was. And then you click it and you go, wait a minute, I'm on somebody else's page. But he still got the click. You see? It gave him the likes. It gave him the this. It gave him the that. It helped that channel kind of get more than it maybe shouldn't. Okay? A lot of people make a lot of money off certain things. If you see what's working for one guy, maybe you're going to do that for yourself. Do I prep? I do. Do I name my thing that? No. I've only got 86 subscribers and I don't care if I had 2. Like I said, I'm not here to build any kind of audience. I'm just here to kind of give you a little bit of whatever. So for right now, it's up 65 points, but that's not much. Is it 65 or 650? 65 points. But that's nothing over time. And like I said, I kind of expected it to happen because it's going into a weekend. So anyway, a lot of people are ripping his channel off, like even with that, because you instantly click it and go, oh crap. Another guy on here who has a great channel, but I think he does kind of watch others, and then he might be doing some news stories too, and coming on here and saying, oh, hey, look. But on the whole, you're repeating things that other people are saying, okay? That's okay. But don't put the same kind of banner up that he does. Now, Nate, whether or not he ever watches my channel, which I probably doubt because he's got probably several 100,000 followers, so I don't even expect that. He puts out a lot of good stuff, but there's just enough of other stuff that a lot of regular people aren't interested in. But it's not my way. Not my channel. It's your channel. And you are free to do with it what you want to. But since you've been on here preaching this World War III stuff, which I believe too, that's what they come for. You also have to understand there's a lot of trolls. And that's just what it is. I encountered those way back in 2000, okay? So, it was a different gimmick back then. But trolls are never going to be different. They're always going to be there. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't really understand with Greg is that while he still kind of likes Orange Man, there are things about Orange Man he doesn't like the way he's handling the wars. Remember, businessman, not a war chief, okay? If he wants a good Republican war chief, he should probably have Condi, but they wouldn't do that because, well, they just wouldn't. And she probably wouldn't take it either. Well, it started to dip again. But anyway, if you watch what's happening, and then last night there was a big major attack of Russia to Ukraine. We watched it because flight radar is right there. When he starts to mention the areas, if you can get to those areas yourself and look, those planes are there. So he's not making that up. Or a couple of his moderators might come on and they might say something. And then sure enough, you go check the news and it's in it. But when you ask, well, it's not on mainstream news. Well, no, it's not going to be on TV. That's not going to happen. It may be written in a news story on the internet, but it's not going to be on TV. That's just the way it is, okay? Now we're starting to fall again. And like I said, which I called, when it got to the number 42, even if it was 42,999, that was when you would start to worry, oh, maybe the stock market's not going to hold. When it gets down to 41, 40, I would be more than worried. I would be deciding what I might be going to do. When it gets to 39, I think that's going to be a crash. Then it's going to be there. There it is. The recovery mode won't come back and all this and everything else. I have my own views on a lot of things that are going on. And I also, this is something that I thought was stupid. A lot of people thought that speech was really great. I thought it was boring as hell, but I watched it anyway. All we talked about were naming mountains, naming gulfs, trying to get these countries that don't want us to own them. And again, we can't take Greenland. If you were, like Greg said, if we were to go in there and just do that, that'd be like Putin going into the Ukraine trying to take back all his old countries, which is exactly what happened. Ukraine did not start that war. They didn't. Russia started it. But all of a sudden, we're palsy-wowsy in with Russia. You kidding me? Then all of a sudden, China gets into the mix, and they're going to send 50,000 troops to the Ukraine in a training exercise. How many of you ex-military people out there, or current, have ever been on a training exercise that could have gone live at any time? Number one, if you're not in the major no, and you're just a troop, the only thing you can assume when they say, well, we're going on a training mission, number one, they said mission. That usually means something. And if they issue you live rounds, then you better assume that this training mission could go live at any moment. China is sending 50,000 troops to the Ukraine. And so I happen to say, well, what about Iran? Next thing you know, Iran is supplying drones to Russia, so now you have all three countries. I wish I had a map in front of me. See if I can do it for you. Because my battery on the iPad is getting kind of dead, but this is how we're going to old school it. So let's put put this in. Okay. I didn't want to go here. I couldn't see it. This was not what I wanted. Okay, how about this? Come on. Yep. Okay. So here's a world map. Okay. So, here you have Russia, China, these two countries together. And then we have Russia, China, there's Iran, right? Three. And now there's the Ukraine right here. And then where is this all going to go? Into the Holy Land. The three major powers mentioned kind of in the Bible, Gog and Magog, make the march into the Holy Land to try to take it over via the Ukraine. It's a bit, but, game by game by game, blah, 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 blah. Syria, Golan Heights, all of that. That's right there, right in front of you.
You need to unlock your iPhone first.
See, I never even said the name, and it went off. Like Mike said, the things learn, and every time you talk, it learns. Everything you're doing is being recorded, no matter what you think. I walked by something that I owned, and it showed up on Amazon. Anyway, so these three powers, Russia, China, Iran, you know who keeps talking about shock and awe in Iran, told Israel, oh yeah, we're going to build all these stuff here. We're going to make Gaza Strip into a resort. Whether that happens or not, we don't know. What are you going to do? Put gambling casinos in the Holy Land? Wow, that's pretty blasphemous, I would say. And like Greg said, kind of backstabbing this country by siding with this other country. So no sooner did that happen, and no sooner did the mineral deals thing kind of fall off, boom! Last night, this country took off after you know where. That map was literally red. There were actual videos of real missiles in the sky. I think they were shot mostly from drones, but it still happened. Okay? You're not going to catch any of this on regular TV. You want to see it, you want to get the report, Greg's channel is the channel to go to. You have to understand about war and when people attack people and what time of day and night they do. And so for us, it's probably kind of like Western time, maybe about 8 o'clock at night, which might put that at 4 o'clock in the morning. They love to do stuff early a.m. before it's light out. And then once it's light, they usually kind of stop doing everything because they can be sane, say. And last night was pretty out of control. They get what they call EAMs coming in, emergency alert. They've got one thing called Over the Horizon, which is kind of a nuke sniffer. You can hear it. It's all there. It's live. It's not real or fake. But you got people that come in there, where's your source? Where's your this? And then if they dare talk about Orange Man, it gets so pro-Orange Man that they end up banning him. Even if he likes the guy a little bit, it's too overboard, and he says, oh, here they come. And then the moderator's got to get on it because it's too much one way. And which I learned, there's no argument when it comes to that. So now, it looks like he's going to threaten a bigger tariff on Canada. Like I said, and I posted this meme earlier, isn't that funny? Because it talks about billionaires making money off the stock market falling. I don't even know where we're at now because I turned this off. I can look again. But it's right obviously in front of you, but people refuse to see it. And I'm going to tell you the reason again. I'm still not completely off that sick. It's really fluctuating, guys. It's up and down and up and down. It was negative 50, now it's positive 90. But 90 is nothing. That's, I just call them points. But it's nothing. That's a nothing game. Another thing Nate does talk about, which is gold. When the gold gets real high, that's when you got to start getting concerned. Okay? So, again, all this stuff lines up, but there isn't one person that sees it. Things are coming and they're getting hot and they're happening right there before your eyes. Telling me it isn't doesn't mean it isn't. So until then, I guess, we'll just have to see what happens and transpires. But I wanted to do another video today. Again, you should go there at night. So I would say maybe 7 o'clock our time, so 10 p.m. Eastern time. And then over there, it's like early a.m. and there's a lot of shit going off. But it really amazes me the amount of people that are supposedly smart, but they've swallowed the pablum and drank the Kool-Aid and they really believe they're winning. And again, if I get a $5,000 check, I'll be very surprised. I'm not counting on it. And even if we do get it, you know what's going to be? Just a stimulus with a different name. They're going to say, oh, yeah, it was all this. You don't even know. And then, so when you know who said, oh, Z sent me this letter and we're going to be back on it. We don't know that. We weren't there. We didn't see it. We don't know for sure. And gee, isn't that funny how Russia went after Ukraine again last night? No, I don't buy that at all. There's not going to be a peace deal, guys. There's not going to be one. The peace deal, the big one, is a little bit out there. It's not far out there, but it's out there. And this kind of would be a Middle Eastern peace deal because not that Russia and that China are, but Iran is. And it does involve Israel. And it does involve Syria. So that's the Middle East. So, but another thing I wanted to come out and say too, because a lot of people, I'm not telling you I'm 100% right about it, but there is nowhere in the Bible, you can go look, you can find it, you can show it. It's not there. There is no place in the Bible that says the Antichrist is from the Middle East. It doesn't even say rises up out of the Middle East. It just says that the number is a human number, it's number 666. CERN's logo is 666. I think the new microchips number is 666. The beast, AI, which AI can create, and you think it's me talking to you, but it's phony. Right now, AI is not fantastic enough to really fake, because you can kind of spot it. It's a little jerky. There was one of Kelly Clarkson trying to sell gummies. You could see her body move wrong, and you knew that wasn't real, but it's getting good. And then they showed this picture of a brain hooked to a chip. See? Think if you could take, this is sci-fi stuff, but I just thought about it. So think if you could take a live brain out of someone's head and keep it moving by a chip, like a Dr. Moreau type thing, stuck a thing over it so the brain was always in this solid fluid that kept it kind of alive, and then the chip, run by other electrical stimulus, could make this brain really, 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 really smart. Kind of like that cartoon Mr. Brain, if anybody remembers that one. Excuse me. But anyway, this is a cold cough. This is not a COPD cough. But anyway, AI is not good, and a lot of people have been trying to search for older phones that don't have it. I'm going to give you a little tip that I searched yesterday. If you do not mind a renewed phone, renewed, you can get a fairly decent phone for $190. Now you're going to have to go to the carrier and get the chip put in it because they're not eSIM phones, and you're going to have to go like 8.5. I think maybe the 10, because those phones don't get 18.3 and higher. Okay. The 8, I only think it's 16.7.1 or something like that, or 17, and then it ends. The 18.5 was my favorite. The 8.5 was my favorite phone out of all of them. I love that phone. But I don't need 2 plans, see? And I can't transfer the number to a actual SIM card. I don't really want to change my number. But the 8 will update. It just doesn't update a lot of new apps, and it doesn't do the new that. But a lot of people are trying to escape AI, and that's how you would do it. You would go to a back phone. Now, here's another thing. All you guys that hate AI, going Android doesn't change that because all phones are made over there. None of them are here. But right now, they have phones that aren't new phones. even the SE third generation is relatively cheap. If you can stay away from progressing and keep your phone as long as you can, because now I used to upgrade every time a new phone would come out. Now I don't want to. I'm not doing it. In fact, I have a 14 sitting over there that I didn't send back because I just paid to keep it because I bought it. My phone. But it gets it too, see? But there's eventually there's no way around it. Eventually it's all going to happen. It's going to be there. I know that, and a lot of people, I'll even end the video like this. A lot of people are really into, say, computer technology. And they also know that AI could be a bad thing, might usher in the person or thing they don't want. But they do want it because they want the man in white robe standing there in front of you, touching your head, saying, "You're saved, my friend." Boy, people got something coming. Then another thing that lost me last night on Pastor Paul. Oh my God, I thought I was in a Southern Baptist church. I thought, wow, dude, really? I was just waiting for a to happen. I was like, no, I don't think that's fake. I think people really do it. But what they're really saying, I don't know. It sounds like ancient Aramaic to me. Who knows when you get in that riled up state what you're really allowing in. Now Trump is threatening Russia with sanctions and tariffs. Yet he was on the guy's side. See, it's a flip-flop. It's a flip-flop. The guy doesn't really know what the F he's doing. He doesn't. All the guy knows is business. But he flopped at that. He had 6 bankruptcies. 6 bankruptcies. All the things people think he's not involved in, he was involved in. But continue to eat the pablum and drink the Kool-Aid. I don't know. We'll see. Now, I'm going to say this at the end because it depends. I might not upload this video because sometimes I say things I go, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I don't want to go back and edit it. So I might post this, but I'll have to review it. So anyway, my friends, I guess I'm going to end the video. But go to Greg's channel. That's the one that gives you all the things you need for what's going on right now. Let's put it this way. Nate has a person on his page that I don't know how, it's his, so I wish I could figure out how to do this myself. That person needs to be reported and gone from YouTube because they're using his logo. They comment as him, but then they'll say, oh, text this number. You know it's fake. They're trying to get info out of you. It's not him. But you know it isn't him. It isn't. He would say it in the video. Like if I wanted you guys to follow me somewhere else, I might somehow or another get my email address in here. I'm not going to do that because you can message me in the studio. Anyway, until then, peace. I'll be seeing you. You guys have a really good day, and we'll see what transpires.